freezing here. I got the fire on and I'm still cold. Today I'm going to do part one of why essential oils are essential. It's a very, very important topic because when I say essential, I mean essential for every human being, every biology, every cell, because there's constituents or healing properties in oils, well, the genuine oils, that are not found in anything else. So you want to listen to this and share it, and please tell your friends. This is part one. Now, another question is, are all essential oils essential? We've got to be careful what we buy. And these, I did a video on questions to ask before using oils. Please watch that, because you need to ask those questions. If you don't know what oils you're getting. And if you don't know what oils you're getting, you could be causing more harm than good. Because oils, if they oxidize, and I'm gonna share a little bit with you through the talk here, they could cause more damage. Oxidization can cause a lot of free radical damage. So we need to make sure the oils have all the constituents in them, the healing properties, are grown in the right soil, etc. So let me expand on this a bit. Okay, why are essential oils essential? Well, first, a lot of people use the words missing link a fair bit. Now, if there's something missing from the link that our biology needs, then it's not a missing link. Well, it is missing, but it's not the link that we need. Hope I haven't confused you there. When we call medicines missing link, they've got to have everything in them from the plant, every constituent, like hundreds of molecules in there, not just one or two or three. If there's one missing, it's not the missing link. And if there's one missing, it's not really essential. Because our body needs hundreds of molecules working together. More on that in a minute. Also, there's a huge difference. 35 years of experience and that I have had, and I've used a lot of different types of oils, and most of them have got something missing. Now, we use a brand of oil now that everything is there because they actually run about 80 to 100 tests. I'm going to name the company, and I really don't know any other company that does this. If you find one, please let me know. Young Living, Dr. Young dedicated all his life to making sure he's got the best possible oils. Now, a lot of oil companies are in business, and that's fine, but a lot of shortcuts are taken as well. When you take shortcuts, it's very dangerous for the human consumption. So this is what we need. So there's a lot of difference. And the advantage I have is that I can see people's cells under a microscope to see whether these oils or these supplements or these natural therapies are actually changing the cell into what it should look like. There's a lot of stress and chemicals in this world, right? We're living in a toxic world, and a lot of free radicals. And if we don't counteract them, our cells are going to look very tired and sick and very stressed and clumped together. and I may do a video on cells one day. But so I've got this advantage of looking at cells and seeing if a particular oil actually changes the cell to what it should look like over time, over a few weeks or a few months. Now, if that happens, you know something's working. So why are essential oils essential? Well, first of all, they've got to be grown in high brix, B-R-I-X. I've done a talk on high brix soil and supplements. Please go and watch it. I'm not going to explain it again now because I've already done it. But you need to have a nutrition-dense soil so that can or the microbes in the soil can transfer the nutrients into the plant, and when you get a plant that's high brix, then you can make a really good oil. And I don't know any company in the 35 years I've been in business that's ever spoken about high brix soil. Dr. Young told me he grows his lavender in a brix reading of 24, and that's absolutely massive if you go back to my other video. So you know there's the missing link in these oils, and everything the human body needs, the human biology needs for good health. And you want to ask people whether the companies of these oils, whether they grow their own crops, because a lot of them don't. They just buy the oils in. When are they picked? When are they harvested? Now this might seem unusual, but some of the plants, like I think it's ylang or cypress, one of these two. Forgive me for not remembering, but there's a lot to remember. They're picked some crops are picked at their best at 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Now, I don't know many companies that do that. So the distillation is very important. Either you may have the best possible crops, but if they're distilled, like most companies are in it for the business, so they distill them for 15 minutes, around about. The proper oils, genuine oils, to be essential, they've got to distill them between 1 hour and 24 hours for cypress. So that's a huge factor. And by the way, they don't want to distill them over boiling point. Most companies distill at 400 degrees. Now 400 degrees will produce oxidation. So that will damage the cells. Proper distilling is up to boiling point, around 100 degrees, okay? And for longer periods, so you get more out of the plant. And as I said, Young Living do 80 to 100 different tests. The frequency is the highest. There's musical notes, all the musical notes. If there's one musical note missing, I've spoken about this before, so I'm not going to go into detail. If there's musical notes missing, then you can't tune up the cell. You need all the musical notes to tune the cell. It needs to be sound therapy, antioxidant therapy, high oxygen content of the oil, colour therapy. Now this is the advantage of having a microscope. I see this in the actual oil. I put a few different oils under the microscope, saw nothing, put Young Living under the microscope, and I actually saw a lot of these things. Colour, I saw colour, the colour of the rainbow. So the colour of the rainbow is healing, as God made it. healing properties of colour. Light therapy, electrical, the essential oils have to be electrical because our cells are electrical. That's why it's essential. You get a lot of supplements and there's no electricity in the supplements. There's no frequency in the supplements. Although some supplements we do need. I'm not saying we don't need supplements. But what we need is the frequency, because disease runs on frequency below about 58. And human frequency is too low. We need to bring our frequency up. This is why they're essential. They're electrical. We have communication systems in our body that need these electrical signals. So they're great for communication. And if we haven't got a communication system working in our system, you've got neurotransmitters, or a communication system. You've got neuropeptides in your digestion. You've got your immune system communicating with your brain, your digestion communicating with your brain. You've got the whole body communicating with one another, with each other, different cells. So we need a communication system. And we have 400 to 1200 molecules in these young living oils. That's complete. That's complete. That's why it's essential. And those 400 to 1200 molecules are working on every part of the body together. Like a drug, I got this from a pharmacist. They take one molecule out of a plant and target one area of the body. This is not how we want to work with natural therapies. We want to target the body as a whole because the body works together. And these oils contain phenols, sesquiterpenes, monoterpenes, and there's studies from Berlin. Well, there's a lot of studies, but there's studies from Berlin University that says these sesquiterpenes and monoterpenes delete our bad or negative information that we've stored in our cells, okay, and reprograms the cells to the way God made them in the first place. Perfect. Okay? So these are essential. You don't find this sort of thing in any other supplement. And they're an essential part of our life because way back 5,000 years ago, they were using them in the Bible. And God told his people to use them. So there must be something in them that is essential. And these people in the Bible were using them before there was any pollution. So think about that one. So now we're bombarded with millions and millions of free radicals per second. We need protection. So they're absolutely essential. So they work on the physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, and social. So, but in part 2, I'm going to be discussing the molecules in them, like linoles, terpenes, esters, all that sort of thing, and what they do. I haven't got time to do it in this first part, but there's molecules in there that are absolutely essential for our body, whether we think we're healthy or not. I take them not because I'm sick, but because I don't want to get sick, because I'm protected. Look, you know, we're not in an ideal world, but we can protect ourselves. So there's so many molecules that are in there. There's hundreds of different musical notes to balance or tune up. Can I say tune up the cell? I've spoken about that in my other videos. We need the musical note. Or if there's one musical note missing, And a friend of mine went over to Paris and he asked these top perfume companies and essential oil companies that Hollywood used, I'm not going to mention any names, and they said about musical notes, and they said there's some of their oils and perfumes have 5 notes in them and some have 10. Now you can't heal anything with 10 musical notes. The proper oils have between 300 and 900 musical notes to tune up the cell, because without those musical notes the receptors don't work too well and you can't receive anything inside the cell. So they work on the receptors to open up and take in molecules inside the cell, and this is what we need. We need healing from inside the cell. Okay, so not all notes are excreted at the same time. It's a process, okay? So once all the notes are in the mix, they're cooled and they're separated, and then they must be tested to make sure the notes are in harmony with our frequency, with our cells. This is vital. This is why there's 80 to 100 different tests per oil, because they have to be in harmony with our cells. Otherwise, they're not going to cause healing. They will cause the opposite. And this is the trouble with commercial oils sold. They don't do all these tests to see the harmony. So you've got different oils that resonate with different parts of the body, as in like lemon oil works on the vitamin D receptor and it cleans it. And we've had clients that have taken lemon oil for 4 to 6 weeks, went back to their doctor and their vitamin D levels escalated to such a high level that the doctor said you better reduce what you're doing because your vitamin D levels are up. And this is without taking a vitamin D supplement. So we need to clean the receptors. Say cinnamon vibrates or harmonizes with the pancreas. What does the pancreas do? Regulates the blood sugar. And amongst a lot of other jobs, eucalyptus harmonizes with the lungs. Frankincense with the red blood cells and the white blood cells. So all these notes have to be present. Okay, have to be present, so everything harmonizes, and this is why they've got to test them to make sure that that's what they do if they want to get the genuine oils. Now Bruce Tanio and a whole lot of other researchers, but he's one of them, Tanio Technology, did the original frequency tests for Young Living. Okay, so he was an independent and he found them to be the highest frequency of any oils. Now burning oils actually produces toxic chemicals. So if you leave them in the car hot, and that's why I said if they don't distill them right, if they distill them at a temperature of 400 degrees, I wouldn't touch the oil. So you've got to ask these questions, whether they're really essential oils or not. They're not. I could not class them as essential if they've been grown the wrong way, harvested the wrong way, distilled the wrong way, etc., etc., etc. You can't call them essential. So there's also an article of Linda Lee Smith, The Psychology or the Physiology of Essential Oils. She goes right into depth. Essential oils distilled the right way are a beautiful symphony. and should never be adulterated. They should never be adulterated. And this is really, really important because we're talking about you're playing Russian roulette with your health if you're using adulterated oils. And it only takes one musical note out or one molecule out and it's unbalanced the whole oil. Okay? So be with me for part 2. I'm going to try and do it Thursday or Friday if possible because I go into all the other molecules and what they do, and they're supposed to be present. And if you want to get hold of these oils, please support us because I'm doing all these free, all these videos free, and it's a lot of information that I've accumulated over the last 35 years. I think it's worth something. So please support us. We don't sell them, but we can get you a wholesale account and we get a little bonus. So that helps me keep going, helps me pay the rent. So if you want to get hold of these oils, please contact us, and see you for part 2. And please share these videos. Thank you very much, and God bless.